we'll do some integrating exercises and moves next week, and then we'll start in June on feet. So I'll give you a heads up next week about being barefoot and what you'll need to do for feet, because that's our understanding, right? That's a okay. So I'm going to go, there's always remember, there's always a handout with the recorded class, and very often there are two handouts with illustrations. Joanne.
Yeah, I won't be here next week for sure because I'm having a root canal on Thursday.
Ooh. Oh, you will need to do some neck things for sure after that root canal. I told my dentist, I said, you need a massage therapist in here, because when I leave here, I am so stiff. I have to do my neck relaxers to loosen up. I think all dentists ought to have especially when you're having a root canal. Sorry, Joanne. But it'll be recorded, and it should be on Monday. I think Valerie does, look at what Barb's got, a little TV screen there on her, and she's now got party lights. I like how you have that all set up.
I can't fix my picture, so I'm looking for something else.
Oh, okay. I'm going to do something back there for Memorial Day, and because we won't be having anything on Memorial Day, but you'll have recorded things. Okay, so please spread the word, and I know Victoria will as well, that I will be doing something. It's probably just 10 minutes for Older Americans Month on Monday, and my segment, along with two other people, starts at 10 a.m. So I'm not sure. I think we'll each have a little bit of time. I'm not sure how much. And so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that all that works out. As we know, sometimes there's things that happen technologically. But I'd love to see a familiar face there. And thank you. Thank you for tuning in the other day, because Victoria thought that was me that was doing Ageless Grace, but it was Karen Zarin, who you might know. And she's at North DeKalb Senior Center. So I am going to be representing Central DeKalb Senior Center on Monday. So I hope to see you. And it will be some strength and balance stuff. Okay, I'm going to change my camera. Let's get started. And you can get ready. And maybe we'll have a couple more. Hey, Eva. Okie doke. New camera.
Cannot fix it.
Oh, there it is. There it is. And I've got my cheat sheet. Oh, that's a really good idea for walking. Walk sideways. Don't just walk forward and back. Walk sideways when you do your walk. And if you're walking with somebody, they can spot for you if you have a walking buddy. But walking sideways changes your proprioception, your perception in your body, and your directional. And also, if you're walking with a partner, your partner can watch you. It's just a little helpful hint. Can watch you. They're walking forward, but you walk backwards. So they can tell you if you're going to fall off a cliff or run into a tree or something like that. But try to do that on a straightaway. Or
That's
maybe
how we
even
do it going up hills. We lock arms and one person goes forward, and then when your muscles get tired, you just flip.
Oh, and you lock arms, so if one falls, all of you fall?
No, it's to get up a hill in Eureka. They're like 33 and 40 degree angle hills. You lock arms and you go uphill, and then when you get tired, you flip.
Okay. That walking backwards changes your posture, and it puts your perception in the back of your body. so that you're using different muscles. And that's what you're talking about. But let me tell you something about going up a hill or going up steps. And this has to do with balance and how you're using your core strength. When you are going up a hill, angle your body, not your head, but angle your body from your top of your legs up to the angle of the hill or the angle of the stairs. Anytime you're doing something and you drop your head, and this has a great deal to do with balance, your head weighs 10 pounds. For every inch that you go forward with your head, you're adding 10 more pounds. So if you're looking down like this, your head could weigh as much as 40 pounds and taking you over. If you're at the angle of the stairs or the angle of the hill when you go up, when you go down, you're at the angle of the hill. So you align backwards, not throwing your head back or holding it forward, but align backwards and go down the hill that way. So you have compensated, you've off balanced, you've done a counterbalance for what you're doing. That's really important in terms of how you develop strength in your core, in your upper core, and in your lower core and your pelvic girdle, and also for maintaining your balance. So when you're walking along and looking straight down, you're putting a lot of pressure on the back of your neck and your upper shoulders. And then after a while of doing that, you're going to get some real stiffness in these muscles, and it's going to look like a hump because those muscles turn hard. And so you have that hump that they refer to as a dowager's hump. Dowager's not a bad thing, but the hump part is. So I have to really watch that because I am looking in a computer or I am thrust forward, so it's the head forward. So let's get a little warm up in some looseners along our spine. Just swing your arms around. Relax your shoulders. Keep your knees straight ahead. Notice that my shirt is moving and wrinkling, but my knees, they're not doing that. Don't let your knees change. Relax your feet and just let your arms flap against your body. Align your spine and let your arms just flail out. Come on. Get some momentum going. Vroom, vroom, vroom. You're using a little strength. Yeah, in your core. You're also loosening up all along your backbone where all your nerves are that have to do with your muscles, and then wind down to a stop. Oh, okay. Let's do a little what we do in Qigong. Wake up that myofascial tissue. If you've been sitting for a while, wake up that myofascial tissue, connective tissue, because connective tissue connects everything. Your shoulders, give yourselves a pat on the back, maybe at your chest, like Tarzan, and maybe right here, tapping. There is a practice, a therapy called tapping. So you can just tap on your head. Your brain has myofascial tissue all around your internal organs, and there's a certain sequence to tapping, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to tap. So it's good to use these fingers here, not your index, but the middle ones, because they're not as pokey. They're not beep, 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 beep. They're a little bit more gentle. But right here at your sternum, and you can hear that kind of drum beat. And then right here, it sounds kind of empty in my head. And then all around, and right at the base of your skull, behind your ear where there's those bones. And you can sit and do this. You can do this stuff anytime. And then shake out. Give it a shake out. You know, in Ageless Grace, we do Shake It Up Baby. And the real reason for doing that is to keep that myofascial tissue lubricated so you don't feel like you have on armor. All right, so those are some looseners and lengtheners. So standing or sitting And when you're sitting, your sit bones are like the feet of your pelvis. Imagine that there's a balloon coming into your belly. It's floating up into your rib cage. It's a helium fill. And then it comes up into your chest. And then it's in your head. And you're being lifted up, but you're still very grounded. You're not locking your knees. You haven't changed your knees at all if you're standing. So here comes that helium-filled balloon. Here you are. And helium-filled balloon comes into your body and it lifts you up. And use your imagination. It's inside your rib cage. It's lifting up. It's inside this cavity here in your shoulder girdle. And then it comes into your throat area. And then it comes into your head. And you're really standing up very tall without any effort. So that is a counter pull or a counterbalance. You're being pulled downward, gravity, and you're moving into gravity. So the movement in your body, and use your mind for this because that's a focus, is going this way. And it's called a counter pull. And that's how we organize. And when we let go of that counter pull, if we practice it enough, our nervous system talks to our muscles and our joints and keeps us that way all the time. We don't have to think about it. But we tend to get kind of like this. So I have cleavage that way, but but that's not a good kind. So we kind of get over like this and we walk along and our head juts forward and our neck hurts, our low back hurts because we haven't found that alignment and we will be off balance from the get-go. So when things are lined up and not rigid, then your body is balanced and you're creating strength in every part of your body, particularly in this part that supports your head. So remember that term counter pull. It's easy to incorporate those things into your daily life too. So I'm going to sit in a chair, and you can sit if you want to, because you might want to do this while you're watching TV. And if you're watching TV like this, or you're looking in the computer, or you're in a class, a live class, yay, we'll have live, and you're doing this, you're going to do that head ramp, and you can do it standing. All of this is the same. Your feet are flat on the floor. If you're in a chair, your feet are flat on the floor. So pull your chin into the hollow of your throat and then jut your face out. Pull it in and jut it out. Now from the side, it's called a head ramp, or it's not chin up or chin down. It's like somebody's pushing your face back and forward and back and forward, and take your time going as far as you can, and as far as you can probably go pretty far forward. You might not be able to go as far back. Now, if you are standing against a wall, this part of your head would be touching the wall when you do the head ramp, and then you pull it away. Your shoulders are still there at the wall. So it's just your cervical spine. Think of your head as on a track, not a hill, a level track, forward and back, forward and back. So from the side. So if you have some place where you can see yourself in a mirror from the side, but you know that your jawline is going to stay parallel to the floor and not go this way or that way. Do that. And then notice if you have a better range of motion. Remember, your head is the heaviest part of your body. And when we're thrust forward, and we tend to be on our phones and doing all that kind of, I know. How do I know this stuff? Because I do it. And then I have a neck hurt. And I'm like, why is my neck so stiff? And I think, well, I need to get that myofascial tissue lubricated. I need to get those joints moving in my, and you can probably go from side to side. Like your head goes that way and your head goes that way. Not this way, just laterally. Like your ear is touching the wall. Ear touch the wall. Ear, like a dancer. Mm, 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 mm. So you can practice that, and having that sensory awareness against a wall is very, very helpful, because you know when you touch it, you know when you pull away. I think in the recorded thing last week, the recorded class last week, I spoke of pressing your head if you're driving along, or if you have a chair with a headrest up at this part of your skull, not at your neck, but at the skull. And you push straight back, not this way, not that way, but straight back. And hold it and count to 10 and release. And pull back and hold it and count to 10. It's the same time that I told you about this exercise to release tightness in the shoulder girdle using a little acupressure. So you're trying to turn your head, and that's in one of the recorded classes. You'll have to check it out. But forward and back. Always reminds me of a chicken. Roll your shoulders around, and I like to have the shoulder roll one at a time, because one's always better than the other. So put your hand right on the side of your leg and don't let it move. And roll that shoulder in a 360 degrees. And then go the other way. And I hear some cracking in mine. Well, let me just tell you, the cracking is not from breaking. It's from that myofascial tissue loosening up. You know how that old cellophane we used to have would get hard, and plastic would get hard, and when you start moving it around, it crackles? Well, that's sort of what that stuff is like. And then that arm's probably a little bit longer than the other one. Sit on the side of your chair. Let your hand be stable right there, because you don't want to do it that way. You want these muscles in here and these muscles here to activate. And these are things that you can do just sitting around. This is functional fitness. It's not like a class. Oh, even if you're in your car. Oh, hello. Give that little shoulder roll. Well, maybe not. And do about 8 in each direction. And if you hear that cracking, crinkling, don't worry. Nothing is breaking, because you're driving it. You're not using a weight. You're not using anything outside of yourself. So as long as you are driving physically and mentally, then your body's not going to let you do something to hurt yourself. If I were telling you to do something, go to the right, go to the left, that's mechanical. But if I say, oh, look out the window, and you really earnestly look out the window, or I say, oh, look over your shoulder, who's that back there? So using your eyes and using your imagination. So let's do that. Keep your chin level with the ground. Cut your eyes in one direction like you're looking, oh, somebody's behind you. Imagine somebody behind you that you're looking for, and you're not turning your shoulders, just your head. And then, oh no, they went around you, and now they're on the other side, and you got to catch them over here. But you're actually using your eyes, because your eyes are your conscious attention, and your eyes will help to drive that movement naturally, systemically, organically, instead of me telling you, turn your head to the right, turn your head to the left. So when you're curious and fascinated about something, and you move your head all around like a 5-year-old, then you are really driving yourself. No more training wheels, nobody telling you what to do. And so that is the best way when you're looking for something. That is the safest way. Maybe you're looking up for the space station, or, oh, it's a clear blue sky. Oh, you dropped something. So that's organic. But if somebody tells you in a class to look up and look down, that's mechanical. And that's real different as how, in terms of how your brain interprets that and directs your body to do something. I guarantee you, if I said, "Oh my gosh, look back there! Oh, there he is," you're going to crane your head all the way around to see who he is or whatever. Anyway, if somebody says, "Look," you're like, "Oh, yeah," you'd be getting a whiplash because you're going so fast. Hey, look at there! But if I tell you to jerk your head around, you're going to hurt yourself. So let's do a little figure 8 with the tip of your nose and keep your head over your shoulders. Not ahead of your shoulders, but right over. So your ears are over your shoulders. And then let's go ahead and stand up, or you can still sit, but most of us are forward like this, or we're working on the computer, or we're doing some craft, or we're cooking. And so this is our posture, forward. And so, yeah, I got some cleavage there. That's not good cleavage. So opening your chest, you can do that by bringing your arms back and getting a good stretch. And this is a good one to do first thing in the morning. Arms behind you. And just, oh, yeah. And if you can't get your arms behind you to hold onto your own hand, use a towel and hold on to it. Get that Jane Mansfield look, right? Anybody remember Jane Mansfield? And opening your chest, because you have a line down the center of your body, the midline, which is, and your spine is that midline. Spine, we have a spine. I have a spine on the notebook that I pull this paper out of, a spiral binder. And so that spine on a book allows the open and close to go vertically. Pelvis, shoulder girdle, pelvis, shoulder girdle. And we kind of tend to keep it that way in the shoulders. And so allowing that spine, like the spine of a book, to open and close vertically. So let's get into our perfect posture. Feet are parallel, arms relaxed at your side. And that spine, if it's tight in the front from always being forward and head forward, your hands are going to be more in this direction. We want to open that up so that our middle finger falls right at our side seam. And a good way to do that is to lengthen those muscles this way, back, by doing that little exercise stretch in the back. And going back and forth. Anytime, not just taking your hand behind, but taking your elbow forward and back. So if you put your hand on your chest and let this part of your arm go forward and back of your body, and see how far without turning your body, forward and back, forward. You'll feel that open and close at your shoulder blade in the back, cleavage in the front, cleavage in the back. And that makes a difference in how that shoulder girdle, that one, opens up compared to the other one. This one feels much more loose, like I could have much more range of motion than this one. So I'm going to do the other side. So your elbow comes forward, your shoulder stays down, and your elbow goes back. So you're opening and closing, and if you put your hand here, you'll feel it. It's the elbow and above, elbow and above. And one side's going to be tighter than the other one. Maybe that's the side you want to start on. So you have that range of motion. That's why this is a really good thing to do. So your elbows line up and move all around. Move those elbows around. Make circles with your elbows. And if your elbows are right here, that ain't it. Cross, give yourself a real tight hug, and move it all around. And then put the other one on top, because it's going to be different. Your brain interprets that and says, oh, that's different from the other. And I can draw a box, I can draw a circle, I can draw a figure 8 with my pointy elbows, and then drop them down. And then touch your shoulder, drop it down, scoop it up, palm up. So from the side of your body, your head ramp, you're not jutting your chin out, touch your shoulder, scoop under, rotate your arm, bring it back in. Shoulder and elbow are in the same plane, and you're rotating. And then the last one, and drop your arm down. And you can also, during the course of the day, rotate. And it's not your wrist, it's this upper part, because that's the part that connects to the shoulder girdle. So rotate, just when you're walking around, rotate. That makes those muscles have to wrench out or squeeze out and release this tension. And if you do a few of those, I don't know about you, but I honestly do feel a difference in the range of motion and the relaxation and the flexibility. Just doing that. I haven't lifted any weights. Well, lifting weights is strength. All right, so here we go. Sit up, touch, scoop under, rotate. Let's do about 4 of these. You can do as many as you want to. But you're kind of twisting it around, but keeping your shoulder down. And then this time, bring your arm down. Let it just hang and make your arm go around. And you'll feel right in here, right in this indentation, where there's a lot of connective tissue, your rotator cuff. You're not lifting anything. You're just rotator cuffing. You're rotating. And that makes these muscles and the ones in the back, counter to that, have to activate and release. All right, shoulders. We tend to keep them up here. I know you can all do that real well, but we're going to do something different with the back of our body, our shoulder blades. So take your arms out to the side, nice and straight. Pull your chin in so you're doing that head ramp and making those double chins. Now lift your shoulders to your ears. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Roll your shoulders back and pull them down toward your waist in the back. Pull them down toward your waist and bring your arms back and relax. Just that activity, you could go ahead and do some tricep strengtheners, but just that activity of shoulders up, roll them back, pull them down toward your waist, your shoulder blades, those muscles, right in through here, pulling down toward your waist to pull your shoulder blades down. Up, roll it back, pull it down. Now here's another little part to add once you kind of get the hang of that. Shoulders up, roll it back, make it wide and down. Shoulders up, roll it back, widen, pull down. Up, back, down, wide. Let's try that. Up, back, down, wide. Wide is that way. out there, east and west. So you may be able to see it better this way. Up, back and down, and wide. Like you're trying to touch that wall and that wall over there. And then relax. Up, back, down. Pull those shoulder blades down, back of the body, and wide. Now notice something happens in here, and relax. So you can watch my shirt. Up, back and down, pull them down, and wide. The core engages to make that go out wide. So you are really releasing a lot of tension in the upper part of your body, in the upper right quadrant and the upper left quadrant of your body, which has a lot to do with your neck and your neck ache or flexibility. You know, I'm going to sit down for this. You can sit down for this, or you can stand up. But if you're sitting, remember, you're using your perfect posture. Sitting on your ischial tuberosities, that's your sit bones, your feet are flat, heels are down, balls of the feet. I just read an article about the connection of your fascia from your tongue to your feet. Tongue to toes. Whoa, amazing. Okay, so you might want a thicker towel than this. We did our head ramp. And then you can drop your head down, which you probably do pretty good. Here's the kicker. When you drop your head back, you tend to put too much pressure because you slump down. We tend to put too much pressure on those little vertebrae in our cervical spine. That's why it hurts. Well, if your head is up and you go back, that's different. You're creating space and then going back. So here's a way to help you create space. This is like a cervical collar. If you have some issues, they'll give you one of these. But you can train your body and allow your brain to focus. Because when you go back like this, you're not crushing. Your head is still up, instead of, look at this. Now my head is down. Now my head is up. So a good cue for you is head up and slightly forward so that when you go back, you're not collapsing on those vertebrae. So that collapsing in here and in here is what makes us have wear and tear on those vertebrae. These vertebrae down in this part of our body, if you look at a book of bones of the spine, and I've got some handouts for that, you'll notice that these are thicker, they're bigger. These are tiny and more delicate. And that's because these are fine motor movements. And isn't it weird? Your head is the heaviest part of your body, and here you have these little tiny, delicate little vertebrae holding it up. But I think the intention was for you to have everything else from the feet up giving some support. So here's what you can do. Use that towel, let your head go back and forward. Because you've got enough support here, not something tiny, but enough thickness that you can't crush. And you can go forward and back safely. Now, you can support your head, but that's going to be a little bit of a different exercise. I want you to start with this one so that you are doing that. A lot of times you'll have a class where you'll be instructed to do this. I'm not ever going to tell you to do that because people tend to pull their head and crunch their shoulder, and that's not doing anything good for you. I would say support your head and go as far as you can. So if you have a ball or something like that, I think I did this and you can put your head there. so you have support and you can move it back and forth. But don't yank on it. Don't pull on it. Because what's going to happen is instead of keeping your neck long, you're going to go like that. I know, I've seen people do it. I've done it myself. So you want to keep the neck long, and this is a good way, or that towel is a good way, I'll do it over here, to keep the neck long and get a stretch. Maybe a smaller ball than this one. This one is really good for holding and coming behind and up and down and up and behind your head. Keep the head ramp. Don't jut your head forward. Up and down, loosening up that shoulder girdle, increasing the range of motion. And you can go to the side and to the side. So you look one way, take the ball to the side. Look the other way, the ball goes to the other side. Keep your elbows up at shoulder level, and you're looking opposite from the ball. Now, this creates a little chaos for your brain, and that's good, because if you're just doing the same thing all the time, you get complacent. Your brain gets complacent. We want it to wake up and to activate. So you look opposite, and you look opposite. Sort of a counterbalance. Look over your shoulder, look behind you, use your eyes, and the ball is away from your body. See, the ball is that far away from my body. It's not up to my chest. It's out. Not going with the ball, going opposite. You could think of that as a counter pull. And then roll your shoulders around. Same thing, if you're using a ball, you can create some strength, or it could be anything. It could be your other hand. We've done this. Pressing inward with your shoulders down. Not this. This. Pressing that, squeezing the living daylights out of that ball. And then release. Hold it for a count of 10. Squeeze with the heel of your hand, shoulders down. From the side, you see it's right here at my breastbone. And release. Do not hold your breath. Press it in, shoulders down, and release. That's a resistance exercise, and it's strengthening the shoulder girdle, waking up. But after you do anything that has to do with resistance, let's have some flexibility. So you can comb your hair and you can shake out your shoulders, and when somebody pulls up next to you in the car and you want a parking place, you can say, I want that parking place. Flirty. Be flirty. Back and in. And so remember, we're usually like this. So when you're sitting in your chair at the computer or your desk, just grab on to the back of the chair and press forward and pinch your shoulder blades. Be sure you're not hunched up here. Pull your shoulders down. Your spine is going up. Your shoulders are going down. Counter pull. So the shoulders are going down. Your head and neck and the whole spine is going up. And you're getting a pinch between your shoulder blades. And then come back and do a little wiggle. And you can do those throughout the day. Lastly, and this is on the recorded class, we did some alphabet, and I think I did the alphabet in some other class. Oh, maybe Ageless Grace yesterday. Standing against the wall, so your head and heels and your behind and your shoulders are against the wall. Make a Y, make a T, make a W. Notice how aligned this is, and L. It's a capital L. All right, so it's Y, T, W, L. Look at the alignment. Y, T, W, L. Do about 10 or 12 of those. Y, T, palms down, W, L. And then you can go backwards if you want to too. But everything is against the wall. Your arms are touching the wall. So on my wall back here, my arms will be touching the wall. That's really different because you have to get open in the chest. So here's the Y. Oops. There's the T. There's the W. There's the L. Your elbows are going to be a little bit back of your body, or right about there. So let the back of your arm touch the wall. That's going to open up and release in that vertical spine, in that shoulder girdle. And let's all stand up, wiggle out, and you're going to do that walk the straight and narrow. One foot in front of the other. Whoa! One foot in front of the other. And if you're aligned, it's much easier. If your head is here, you're going to be falling and catching yourself, hopefully, before your face hits the floor. So if you're like that, you're going to be off balance. If you're aligned, you can use your hands, use your arms. If you have some place in a hallway that you can hold your hands there to start out with, or a countertop, that's really good. And then you can practice doing that one heel to toe, and then moving your arms at the same time and looking. That's a lot of activity. I go to have my yearly physical tomorrow, and I know that my primary care physician is going to say, okay, stand up and walk across the room. Like, okay. And he's going to be watching to see how long it takes me to get up out of that chair, walk across the room, balance, and sit back down in the chair. So if I go like this, and then I turn around and I go back to my chair, like that, he's going to write down something. Needs work. So those are important things to keep ourselves balanced. Okay, have a great week. Enjoy this beautiful sunshine. I know it's going to be 90 degrees, so be sure you hydrate, drink plenty of water, and take care of yourself. When you're going in crowds and you don't know the people, do wear your mask, but enjoy the outdoors. I'll see you next time, and check out the recorded ones. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Take good care. Over and out.